Hi, Scorpio. March 2021. General reading for you. Inquiry deck. Let's find out a question that will drive a major portion of this reading. Good one. What's the next step? Well, as far as nature is concerned, the next step is to go crazy with life blossoming all over in the Northern Hemisphere. The madness, the beautiful madness and insanity of spring. I like spring. It's a good time of year. So let's start with the inline today, Scorpio. So in general terms, what's the next step? Let's take a look. Yin. Next step is starting off with Ace of Wands. Nice. Maybe you'll have a chance to create some steam while you take your water and apply fire and get steam, right? And that can drive you forward in a very, very meaningful, effective way. Yes? Two of Pentacles. Do you want to go? Are you willing? Have you got the courage? Do you have the courage, but you don't think you do? Good questions to ask at this time. Wow. One of my favorite cards, and I'll tell you why, but in a minute. Eight of Pentacles. Yin. So, you got earth and fire, and your water. So it's something that is not necessarily home territory for you, but it's not something you're not qualified or capable of going into. And there seems to be a call that's happening. If you're talking about what's the next step, the call can be to step forward, to take the step. And I don't know what it is for you, but you know what it is for you if you spend the time to listen to your inner voice, connect with your higher self, stay open, flexible, and there waiting on an altar of your soul is the answer. Your next step, and to take the step, though, to take it for what it is, not blaming, not feeling guilt, but rather with that kind of openness. And Scorpio, I got to tell you, I believe about the Scorpios I know. I'm not a Scorpio, and I have very little in my chart that's in Scorpio. But my dad was a Scorpio, and I know for a fact that you guys are deep, deep, deep. And you, within your depths, though, you contain a wondrous amount of capability and talent for things that other people, it just leaves other people shaking their head. They don't know how you did it. So in this case, though, it's a matter of doing it, and do it through being inspired. Do it through your integrity. So that, I mean, with perhaps an earthy kind of a call. Okay, so your water, you're sitting there in your watery self, in your nature, in your basin, just sitting there, no wind blowing, calm surface, perhaps complacency, and along comes Earth with the call. But Earth can be dull and boring too. And it doesn't have to be, but because the message can be big. I mean, mountains are Earth, right? So along comes the Earth call to take the adventure. Then, if you're perhaps vibrating at a level where you're at a low ebb, let's say, you may not be ready to take the leap into that opportunity that will be required. And this is saying that's what you got to do. Connect with your fire. Even if you don't have much fire, everyone has fire. And connect with your fire, or connect with your people that are fiery people, and let them help you in a collective type of an opportunity, an option. Let them help you to discover the fiery approach. Then get ready for a visit to the best you can be in a skill or your art or your profession, whatever. But get ready for that type of balance. See the fours and the fours? The 4 is a traditional number for stability. But why is it stable? Because it's balanced. So get ready for that, because that's the carrot. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. Not that any of this has it does not smack at all of being a slog or difficult. It's just a matter of perking up a little bit, picking up on the energies, and jumping on the train. The train, your train, Yin, is already moving. Jump on board. See what we got for Yang. What's the next step? Yang for March 2021. Wow. Guess who's starting out with another ace? So Yang and Yin. If you're in a relationship and you have perhaps a relationship with another Scorpio, super powerful. But the only thing I'd watch for is like stepping on one another's toes. We'll see though. So Yang, look at the size of that pentacle, and consider the fact that it is full of potential for you. Well, along with a 6 of Wands, along with an 8 of Wands. Holy mackerel. So, Yang, it appears that you're on fire in March. And, wow, there's I'll point out a couple things, but I think there's little to say, because this is telling me that you're looking back at me on this reading going, yeah, I know, number one. And number two, I got this, right? So, fine, that's cool. Your whole wherewithal, however, rests upon something that you've developed. Even if you've got this in your back pocket and you are very, very good at it already, it's something within you that wants you to be proactive with it. If it's in your back pocket, there may be a tendency to rest on your laurels, if you will, rely upon it without letting it go into autopilot. automatic mode, cruise control. And I think the urge here, the encouragement is try not doing that. Try going into a proactive modality with your fire. And what I mean by that is if it's something that's already happening, let's say you're encountering what you're considering to be normal hiccups or glitches, and you're going, yeah, that's to be expected. That comes with the territory. Try persevering with a viewpoint that does not allow that. That does not allow that ambivalence that comes from sitting back, and instead decide that you can and you will run at the head of the pack in that whatever world and realm you operate within, right? And persevere. See it through. Because glitches and hiccups are still going to look and appear like they're glitches and hiccups. But what if you say there's another side to the story and persevere through that? That seems to be the focus here, because it's all good just the way it is. It's all good. I mean, boom, take that, plant that seed, let it blossom. Go to your winner's circle. Find energy within your balance, your own personal understanding of how to do it, and your own personal balance. It's all good. Take it another step higher, if you choose. I mean, you may. If it's not for you and you for yourself, then you may be called upon by someone else in your life to be there for them in this month. It's another potential for this kind of a strong line that you're getting. So Scorpio, March 2021, your overall situation, the Wheel of Fortune. Your obstacle, the world. Your asset, the Fool. Your potential outcome, Star card. Well, I think here in this line, your asset card rules the roost. That energy is going to be the most meaningful for the understanding of all the archetypal forces. Why? Because the Fool is the master of not taking things or himself too seriously. And regardless of how it looks on the surface, and it can seem like the end of the world, not taking things too seriously is always applicable at some level. And that's, I think, what it's all a matter of choice. Your choices are what make all of this up and make it work, make it happen. So, in that realm, you are, in fact, choosing to not take it too seriously, and yet take it seriously enough. I love the finesse of this, because the Fool can seem to be kind of like, kind of a comical character somebody who can be dressed in rags or strange combinations of clothing and accessories on his person that make him look, maybe like a lowlife in a way. And yet, he represents a very, very refined modality, and that is that fine line. He is a dancer, but he's also an acrobat in terms of being able to walk the high wire, walking that fine line of balance between one side and the other, not falling off. And why doesn't he fall off? Because he goes with it. He knows what he's doing to begin with, but he also stays flexible and malleable in a given situation. And on a tightrope, there will be given situations every step of the way. So let's apply that as we combine the fool's quality of walking that fine line and what is the next step. And we start with the wheel. So the wheel of fortune, so you're spinning the wheel in a way. Your hand is the one that's going to grab the wheel, and your hand is the one that's going to spin it. And where it stops, nobody knows, right? That's what they say. But in fact, that's not the reason why you think about it or why you take that in. The reason is behind the scenes, that these endeavors up here, look at it, there are no major arcana in the details of your reading, Yin and Yang for Scorpio. No major arcana. So, but behind the scenes is the real meat of the coconut. And that is that these endeavors that you can step out on are life-changing. They are a fork in the road. They are taking a pathway that diverges from the one you've been on or parallels the one you've been on, but they're not the one you've been on. You take what you gained from what got you to the juncture of the crossroads, and you take that with you into the next step. And overall, that's got a lot of clout here. Here we go with not taking it too seriously. If we're only ever saying, well, we have the world. I got the world, some lyrics from a long time ago. I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow, got the string around my finger, is a certain type of mentality that you can have that swells your head, swells your ego, makes things obscure, obfuscates what you really want to see in your world, and all because you let it get to you and control you. And you thought that the world was going to be the be-all and end-all. Yes, it is strong and powerful, and it is perfect balance. But it's the end of a cycle too, and what stands behind the end of a cycle? The beginning of a new one. And maybe by looking beyond the world, it'll help you Yin and Yang Scorpio to see the new beginnings that are right in front of your face more clearly. We talked about the Fool, and now a potential outcome. So lastly, we come upon a potential outcome of the Star card. The card which takes the 7 of the Chariot and moves it up to the next level, the 17. And in a sense, when the charioteer is looking sassy, standing in the driver's seat of the chariot, no reins, ready to rock and roll and head out, that brings along with it a certain factor of inner strength, inner confidence. Move it up a level, and now it's been refined to this sort of inner strength and this sort of confidence. The comfort of knowing who you are and knowing where you're going. And how about this? It lends itself so readily to the answer to that question. Because if you find your north arrow, your star card, your star to follow, what pops out is exactly what is the next step. It'll arrive by express mail, if you will. So, Scorpios, I wish you well for March 2021, and thank you for joining me. Please subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next month. Until then, love you all. Be well. Bye for now.